type 2 diabetes and have been wondering what you should be eating for breakfast every morning, I want you to stay tuned, because today I'm sharing with you what are the best breakfast options for people with type 2 diabetes and how they can be a game changer when it comes to regulating your blood sugar each day. Hey everyone, Erin here with Healthy Mom Happy Family, and thank you so much for joining me here today. Today I wanted to touch on a question I get asked a lot. What is the best breakfast if you have type 2 diabetes? Now I get my clients asking me this all the time, and there is no one perfect breakfast, but there is a formula that you can use to build out the best breakfast to manage type 2 diabetes. It'll help you to feel full longer, it'll help to regulate your blood sugar throughout the whole day. And so today I really wanted to walk you through that formula and explain to you why this is the best breakfast option when you have type 2 diabetes, and how following this formula can really be incredibly important when it comes to meeting your blood glucose goals every day and long term. So let's first talk about why breakfast is so important. You've probably heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, is that true? In my opinion, it really is, especially if you have type 2 diabetes. Because think about it, when you're sleeping overnight and you're not eating, your body goes into this fasting state. Now, when your body is fasting, what happens is your liver is helping to protect you from blood sugar dropping too low. So it is breaking down stored glycogen and turning it into glucose or sugar, and then releasing it into your bloodstream. So this happens while your body is fasting. Now, this is great overnight because you're getting little bits of blood sugar coming into your body all day, and that's preventing you from having blood sugar crashes while you sleep. But when you wake up in the morning, when you eat breakfast, it breaks that fasting cycle. It's telling your liver, hey, you can stop producing more sugar now. I'm eating, I'm awake, I don't need you to keep putting sugar into my bloodstream. Now, if you've ever skipped breakfast in the morning and you've tested your blood sugar and you saw that it was higher than normal, this explains it. Because when your body's in that fasting state, the liver is protecting you by making its own sugar and pushing it out into the bloodstream. In order to tell the liver to stop and to manage blood sugar better in the morning, eating is really what you need to do. And that's one of the reasons breakfast is so important. Now, the other reason that breakfast is really critical to everyone, but especially people with type 2 diabetes, is that research has found when we eat breakfast in the morning, especially a balanced breakfast, and I'll explain what that is in a minute, this really helps to regulate blood sugar the rest of the day. So people who eat breakfast in the morning, they tend to have a better management of blood sugar during the day. They're not seeing as many crashes and spikes. And it also correlates with improved appetite and less hunger and less cravings during the day. Some research has shown that people who eat a balanced breakfast in the morning, they tend to eat less overall calories later in the day. They experience less cravings. And you and I both know, if you're feeling hungry all day long or you're craving foods all day long, it can be really hard to stay within your meal plan goals or within your carbohydrate goals at each meal and snack. So breakfast really sets the stage for appetite regulation during the day. It helps to balance blood sugar more during the day. And also balanced blood sugar correlates with balanced energy. So if you want to feel at your best all day, you want to have steady energy during the day, you really need to make sure you're adding breakfast in the morning. So what is the best breakfast if you have type 2 diabetes? Well, first, let me just start by saying everybody with diabetes is an individual. So you're going to have your own individual food preferences, blood sugar goals, carbohydrate goals per meal. So we're all going to have a little bit of difference there. But when it comes to building out the best breakfast to manage diabetes, there are some basic principles that everybody with type 2 diabetes can benefit from. The first thing I want you to try to include at your breakfast meal is a source of carbohydrate, because this is going to, one, signal to the liver that you're consuming carbohydrates and sugar now from your diet, so it can break that fasting cycle. But also it's a really great way to help stabilize your energy and blood sugar the rest of the morning. But not just any carbohydrate is going to do. Okay, you need to have a complex carbohydrate, a slow digested carbohydrate. And what that means is a carbohydrate that takes a while for your body to break down. So usually a carbohydrate source that's rich in fiber. This could be a whole piece of fruit. This could be a whole grain slice of bread. Those are the things you're looking at. Something that's incorporating fiber, something that's going to be slowly broken down in the body. Not talking about sugary breakfast cereal, a white flour bagel. Those are the things we want to limit because they're just going to spike and crash blood sugar. But those complex, slow digested carbohydrates are what you want to be reaching for at breakfast. But here's the thing that's so important, and a lot of people don't get this right. You don't want to eat carbohydrate by itself at breakfast. Okay, that's a big no-no. Because even if it's a slow digested carbohydrate, it's still going to digest faster than proteins or fats will. So that's gonna make you hungrier quicker. Okay, you're gonna eat your meal and within an hour, you're gonna be hungry again. The other reason it's so important to have a protein or a fat with your breakfast meal in combination with that carbohydrate is it's slowing down how quickly that carbohydrate is turned into sugar in the bloodstream. So it's going to make sure that you're not experiencing a big spike in blood sugar after eating and give you more balanced blood sugar and kind of regulate that blood sugar and insulin levels throughout the morning, which can lead to more regulated blood sugar throughout the rest of the day. So when you're combining carbohydrates with proteins and fats, I want you to think about what type of protein or fat you're going to incorporate. The best choices are going to be a lean protein, plant-based proteins. If you're doing fats, we want to go with the unsaturated plant-based fats over too much saturated animal fat. But I know what you're thinking right now, and the biggest question is how much, right? How many carbohydrates, how much protein, how much fat, so you can build out the most balanced breakfast. So here is my formula that I share with my clients, and I know it's going to work really, really well for you too. For every 1 serving of carbohydrate that you add to breakfast, I want you to make sure you include at least 1 serving of protein or fat. Doesn't have to be both, but 1 serving of protein or fat. So here's how it works. A serving of carbohydrate is the same as 15 grams of carbohydrate. A serving of protein is 7 grams. A serving of fat is 5 grams. So for every 15 grams of carbohydrate, you would have at least 7 grams of protein or 5 grams of fat. Okay, so that's the formula. For every 1 carbohydrate serving, you add 1 protein or 1 fat. So if you're having 2 servings of carbohydrate at breakfast, you'd have to have 2 servings of protein with it, or a serving of protein and a serving of fat with it. You got that? Okay, so what does that formula look like on a plate? I think that would be more helpful to understand, right? So let's talk about a serving of carbohydrate. 1 slice of whole grain toast, that would be 1 serving of carbohydrate. So if at breakfast I wanted to have a slice of toast, I need to have at least 1 serving of protein or fat on that slice of toast. So I could put a scoop of peanut butter, 5 grams of fat from peanut butter onto that toast. That would be a balanced breakfast. I could put mashed avocado and make avocado toast. That would give me the 5 grams of fat I need to create that balanced breakfast. Maybe you want cereal for breakfast. Right, so let's talk about oatmeal. Oatmeal, especially if you do rolled oats, they're a slow digested form of carbohydrate. They're a whole grain. A half a cup of cooked oats is equal to 1 carbohydrate serving. So with that, maybe I'll sprinkle some almonds on top to get my serving of fat. Or maybe I'm gonna combine the oatmeal and have on the side a hard-boiled egg or 1 scrambled egg. That would be a serving of protein. So the combinations really are limitless. You can combine many, many different choices of food, even if you want something like Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt in itself is a combination. It has carbohydrates and it has the protein already right there. So in that situation, you can have it by itself. You don't really need to add anything. Or if you want to add some fruit on top, just make sure you're only adding enough that it's balancing it out with the protein in the Greek yogurt as well. Or you can add a different source of protein or fat, like putting some nuts on top. Right, so you can use that formula to build out your meal. Do you have to be perfect with it? No, it's a guideline. But when you follow that guideline, you're gonna find that you're building out these really balanced, filling breakfast meals that keep your blood sugar steady throughout the day and really help with appetite regulation and to curb cravings, which makes it much easier to stay on track with your diabetes meal plan. So what do you think? What are some breakfast options that you like to have in the morning to help manage diabetes? And do you notice that certain breakfast combinations do better for your blood sugar management versus others? Comment below and let me know. And let me know too if there's any breakfast ideas you need. I'm happy to help. If you liked today's video, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a new video. Thanks so much for joining me.